Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to another episode of Sour Graps. I'm your host, Alex Pulowski, and everything sucks. Battleground edition. It's our NXT post-show thing we do for the ples. I have a conspiracy theory that I will venture forth about how most of the ples are going to feel like this. And oh boy, I don't like feeling like this, Kate. Kate's here. Hi, Kate.
I am here. Get in your super chats, get in your humper chats, leave a thumbs up on this video to help people find us in the algorithm. Alex, this was one of the weirder viewing experiences I've ever had because I don't think I've seen a product so diminished by the production.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the in-ring being really good or fine with some weird booking, but we're so used to that. But the experience of watching it from beginning to end was so disjointed and so confusing.
Yeah.
That it was very it was unpleasant for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna talk all about it. So get into those super chats and humper chats. We got a lot to get through.
Yeah. It's we'll talk more about it, but like the way I described it was unpleasant. Just the experience of watching the whole thing was unpleasant. For me, bad finishes and bad booking ruins an otherwise great match. So I'm sitting there watching a great match, like an all-timer, honestly, between Roxanne and Jordynne Grace, which also with the added history-making quality of it.
Yes.
And then the end is so bonkers, off the wall, nut job shitty that now I'm angry about having watched all of the good stuff,
the great stuff. Yeah,
like that makes me angry at having done it. And then immediately after that, I got to watch 10 minutes of commercials and also like promos, vignettes that they ran on Tuesday that I've already seen. And like, I don't know, part of a documentary about Brooklyn Takeover, like Brookover. I'm gonna call it that now because that's how angry I'm at everything.
Brookover. Brookover is one of my favorites.
I don't know why the Peacock viewing experience is awful across the board. But tonight, because I was like, oh man, that finish sucked and the match was so good leading up to it. And I'm like, hopefully the next match will make me happy. But before we get there, I got to watch a whole bunch of stuff I don't like for 10 minutes.
Here's a top 10 list. And Kevin Owens talked about that time he beat Finn Balor. It felt so much to me like they felt like tons of casual viewers were going to be pouring in. And I just don't think that's the case. But they were like, they wanted to give you too much because of that. They were like, you're going to get NXT history and Sexy Red and all these UFC fighters. And I was like, this is so, I'm sure the Ceases are in the chat, but Emily says all the time, like, it is an overstimulating product. Tonight was that like to the maximum. And it was very frustrating because there was some good wrestling. There were some really dumb finishes. But that part I'm so used to, that the setting that it was all enveloped in.
Yeah.
Really, it actually, like you said, it was unpleasant. Like it bummed me out because I do try to root for it. Like I do. I'm like, all right, next match. And then to your point, I'm like, why am I seeing Kevin Owens
did their jobs
Balor?
tonight. The talent did their jobs tonight. And standing in the way of the talent putting together a bell-to-bell great match is always HBK. The horrible booking kid standing in their way at the end of almost every match. And that's what they do. This is basically what modern day NXT is. Great wrestling for every match for the first 7/8 of it, and then a terrible finish. And then we'll just do that again. And so it's really hard for me to get invested in the overall product when the finishes are booked so they're just a nut. like an absolute nut, escaped from a mental asylum. Like he's still wearing the straitjacket, like Joe Gacy's gimmick before he disappeared from NXT, booked the finish of every friggin' match.
Shawn Michaels is
every match.
Where am I?
There were two matches that I thought had a good finish, like non-crazy, or the right person won. Because you know how I am about my thing. So like, yeah, we'll talk about it. I looked at the card and I was going into this. I was like, this is going to be really great. And then I forgot about how much HBK sucks, like as a booker. So
say his name and he appears. We believe in Joel Gacy, but
yeah,
it was, when you look at this from top to bottom. This is what's perplexing to me.
Yeah,
you look at the card and you're like, this is stacked.
Right.
Like new North American champion, Jordynne Grace versus Roxanne, Trick versus All Ego, Shayna and Lola Vice in an underground match. Like, sign me up for so much of what is on this card. And then you look at how great the actual wrestling is, and you're like, hell yeah. And then you're like, and it still wasn't fun to watch for a lot of it, because of what it was wrapped in.
Nothing built momentum to me. Like, there was no like, okay, that match is over. Can't wait for the next one because you got to wait 10 minutes for Wheatley. So good. I drink it.
I told people, by the way, I tweeted, I was like, if you want to super chat Alex to sing the Wheatley song, it has to be the $10 or higher.
I'm doing it for free because it's in my head now for the rest of time. Wheatley, so good.
Don't let them win. You can't let them win.
No, they did it. They earwormed me. That's going to be in my head forever. Yeah. So, C. Delgado says, as a casual NXT person, nothing made me want to watch the product on Tuesday. Not bad, just meh. And like, I want to watch the product because I hope against hope that eventually they'll stop doing this with all the finishes and just let people have, things that aren't overbooked. But you know what I mean?
There are things, man, when you put it like that, I think with PLEs, I expect there to be blow-offs and then like openings of new stories, but I really don't know who chases Kelani Jordynne. I really don't know what to expect from from Lola and Shayna and whatever happened there. I don't know. I'm sure we're getting Julia at some point, but what does Roxanne do until then? I'm very excited about the men's title picture. Oba Femi's the greatest wrestler in the history of the universe, so that rolls. So some more momentum on the men's side, and again, excited for Roxanne. I think Kelani is great, but I have no idea. Like, well, let's talk about it, because that's what kicked off the show. Yeah.
First of all, Luis says poop puns for how shit the finishes tonight were. I don't know if you can get away with poop puns, but he says battle puns. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
what about general bathroom puns?
I mean, I don't know how that's going to get any better. Did we do Vegas puns recently? I don't know. Did we have done that?
We did for Double or Nothing.
We did, didn't we?
We did.
It's been too recent. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Whatever.
You know what? Let's do Wild West puns, because the booking is like the Wild West.
Sure, fine.
So like Western themed puns.
Sure. Sexy Red is your host. Sexy YY. Sex YY is your sex YY. There's two Y's. If there were two X's, I'd let it go, but there are two Y's, and I don't understand why there are two Y's. And she showed up. She said, "Hey y'all, welcome to Battleground," and then Jeremy Lambert's headline for this segment, which is not untrue, says Sexy Red pops ass at NXT Battleground. And that's basically all she did. She didn't host the show. She introduced the show to start and then had some backstage segments where she popped her ass. That's it.
And invited other people to pop their ass, including backstage interviewers, which felt very weird to me. But you couldn't let her host. It might cut into the footage of the video promos that we saw on Tuesday.
Yeah, you're right. No, true.
Or stuff about Brooklyn Takeover. I don't know.
Yeah.
Brookover.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
But sex YY.
Sex YY.
It's not just that it's sex YY. It's the way you just said it. Of like, sex YY opens the show.
She did.
Man.
We started off with the women's North American NXT Women's North American Championship ladder match. I swear they've said that differently several times. I'm just going to go ahead and say what NXT Women's North America. I think that's correct, but I know I've heard Women's NXT North American Championship. Once I even heard Women's North American NXT Championship. So like,
I am a North American. Fight for the rights of that specific title.
There's so many words in there.
Alex, I'm dyslexic, okay? You're not gonna look at
Continental Championship. It's a long first word, but there are only 2 words. NXT Women's North American Championship. Okay, so
it's what is it on The Office? The diabetes fun run or the rabies fun run.
Yes.
NXT Women's North American Championship for the cure.
Yeah. So if you asked me who's going to win this and rank them in order, I would have had Kelani Jordynne last. Who's going to win it? Not who should, who's going to.
Yeah.
Simply because I do not think they have put in the work on her character to be a first ever champion of anything. They just haven't put in the work on her character. Not that she couldn't do it. I think she's perfectly capable. Like, they haven't done anything to like make her. She calls herself the standout, which like she is when you watch her wrestle. But as far as like presentation on television, that's not true. They just haven't done what they need to do to make her stand out. And, you know, like, so anyway, the match is very, very good. And Kelani Jordynne wins. And I was like, oh, and we'll talk more about the implications of going beyond tonight after we talk about the match, which did feel like a lot of people who are wrestling their first ladder match.
Yes, it did. I looked at it this way. Priority number 1, nobody dies. Priority number 2, nobody gets injured. Priority number 3, some outstanding spots.
Right.
And a correct winner. They nailed 1 and 2. Nobody got hurt. Nobody died. I am confused. Similarly, I think Kelani's fantastic. She's been an incredible talent. I can't remember a story she's been in that wasn't like a multi-woman story in a very long time. Yeah. And because of that, I don't feel like I'm invested in her ability to wrestle, and she has this unbelievable magnetic charisma about her. But yeah. I have no idea who chases her. I guess Fallon Henley probably.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But
it did feel a little like, I don't want to say lackluster because that feels mean, but it felt safe, and it probably should have been. This was the first ladder match for probably everybody but me and Yim in that. So I feel like Ruca was the standout of what we got from a lot of what she did. I feel like Mia Yim did an incredible job as far as keeping some order and keeping the spots that she was involved in. I feel like her greatest in-ring strength is being logical under regular circumstances, never mind what she brought to this. So that was good, but I feel like everybody kind of went, oh, okay. Like even... I feel like everyone's really excited for her and her abilities, but I think everyone was kind of like, well, that sure came out of nowhere. It almost felt like when Indy Hartwell won, you were like, I'm so happy for the person, and I know they're capable, but what?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I was watching this going like, I'm glad none of you are going to kill yourselves.
Yes.
that does take some of the viewing fun away from the ladder match.
Some of the fun of a ladder match.
Some of the fun of the ladder matches. Oh my God, they're gonna kill themselves. Some of the fun of a ladder match is watching it between your fingers, wondering which guy's gonna kill himself or girl. Because I've seen some really great
so for real on the show. Part of the fun is, oh my God, that guy's gonna die, or that
you hope they don't. You hope they don't.
Not.
But I mean, like, honestly, I don't know. I'm not a NASCAR guy. But like part of the fun of watching that is wondering if there's gonna be some crazy wreck. Not hoping for it, but wondering if there might be. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because otherwise it's like, oh, look at those cars go.
So I just felt like I was watching all these women going, none of us are going to die tonight, right? And which is the way you should do this with these women who having this level of experience in the business. However, maybe just don't do it as a ladder match. I don't know, like you could do. They were gonna do a tournament, and they said no, we don't have enough to do a tournament. And I was like, well, if you put Thea Hale in there
into qualifiers,
if you had picked two, like a few more, you could have done like an 8-woman tag tournament. You know what I mean? And then you crown it just the way these women know how to wrestle, and it wouldn't have come like this. It didn't anyway. I don't know. It felt like I was like watching these women go, all right, you climb the ladder, and then I will walk over to you and I will grab your boot. Like it felt like it was doing a dress rehearsal. I'm sorry that it felt that way, but to me it felt that way. And then like the big bump, which was admittedly never seen it before. Everyone takes Lash off the ladder, walks over to her, and they all gorilla press her onto a ladder that is spans between the ring and the announce table. But she lands sitting up on her butt, and then she falls over and she's unconscious. And I mean, like, that's a way safer way to take that bump, certainly. But that took Lash out for the rest of the match, which was several minutes, and it just didn't. It's so hard to talk this way because I mean, like, I'm trying to be honest about how I felt in the moment. I was like, that's a cool spot. That was the safest way possible to take that bump. That's not a thing you can do to like take a person out of a ladder match.
And I saw that it was the safest way for you to take that bump, right? Like that's my thing is if I can tell it was the safest way for you to do something, that's not the best, but these women got to have their first ladder match at some time, right? I think ideally you probably have a better balance of inexperienced and more experienced just to help that along a little bit. But there was nothing wrong with it, but nothing wrong in a ladder match is just not the point.
Right. Now the double Soul Ruca back-to-back Soul Snatchers were great. And I was like, okay, this is her time. And then she climbs to the top of the ladder, and then both women, her and Kelani Jordynne, are on the opposite ends of the ladder, and then one of them they kick each other. They kick each other in the head, and Soul Ruca and Kelani Jordynne both fall down, and then Soul Ruca like rolls out of the ring. We don't see her again, but Kelani Jordynne wins.
Yeah,
they took the exact same bump. One of them was done for the rest of the match, and the other one like won.
Climbed the ladder and won. Yeah,
it just felt like it was that's a weird one to do. But Kelani Jordynne hits her little Starship Pain type of deal on split-legged moonsault on Mia Yim, who was again there to make sure none of the girls killed themselves.
Yes,
and she
did a great job.
And then Kelani Jordynne just climbs up and wins. And I was waiting for like Fallon Henley to run in and push her over, or Jaida Parker to run over and push her over, because like especially with the women, they do not know how to book a babyface champion. Just don't. They can't, like HBK and his boys have no earthly idea how to like make a babyface championship run interesting without throwing every bell and whistle at the bell and whistle store at the whole thing going. They went to the Bell and Whistle Emporium and they bought everything on the shelves and they're just chucking it. chucking all the bells and whistles and everything.
Well,
They
practically
have no idea.
giving these bells and whistles away.
That's the thing is it doesn't make a lot of sense to me to have a babyface champion at all because they don't know really how to book that. You book Fallon or Jaida to win. I'm not saying they're better wrestlers than Kelani Jordynne because I don't think they are. Not that they're bad, but like whatever. I'm just saying if you book them to win and they're the champion, I know exactly who's chasing them. And you book them as the top heel champ in that division, and all the women chase them. Kelani Jordynne probably chases them, and maybe she wins it off of them. Maybe as early as Heat Wave. I don't know. But like with a babyface champion, they're like, I think if you do a babyface champion, of the two in the match who aren't on the main roster, Ruca, you take Ruca over Kelani 10 times out of 10. Not that she's better, but that she has a more defined character that we've seen over and over again. I feel like even though she's a surfer, like there's way more to her than that. Where Kelani Jordynne, I don't know what Kelani Jordynne is. And that's not her fault. That's the way that they've presented her on screen. And I think that you can use her championship reign to further define her. I just question whether or not HBK will or is even capable of doing so with his booking.
Well, you have a lot of evidence to indicate that he's not great at that aspect of this.
Yeah.
Speaking of not great, Sean Ross Sapp is here. Oh, what a sick burn. Hi, Sean.
Hey, guys. How are you all?
Hi.
Yeah, we're good. How are you?
I'm good. Got some scoops to drop, or at least some scoops contingent stuff. So, I mean, I think they ended up doing really good with configuring the Apex and all that. I'm still confused as to why it was they ran that venue. I mean,
it's don't they own it? They get the entire gate, enough to split it with anybody, or
sure, but the gate for 700 people compared to several thousand.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't
know.
I don't quite understand it. I will say, like, most UFC, I don't want to say most UFC fans, a lot of UFC fans just don't watch the Apex shows. I'm among them because they're very lifeless. This didn't feel like that. This was a good venue, at least for wrestling and the like. And NXT is better at configuring venues like that anyway, because of Full Sail and the Performance Center and all that stuff. So I'll say at least it was significantly less lifeless than the UFC shows that are there that will put you into a deep depression. I think everybody saw that Gail Kim was there, Jonathan Gresham was there, Anthony Ciccione and Ariel Schnerner were there. So a lot of the top people at TNA were at this show. Gail Kim being there is, I feel like it's pretty significant because she ain't been there for a long, long time. And she's a pretty good moral compass as it relates to all that stuff. We had reported, myself and Corey Brennan, on FightfulSelect.com today. Gigi Dolan has been, in fact, sidelined with a knee injury. They dropped the Ariana Grace stuff, but she's going to be out for quite a while with a knee injury, which sucks. But yeah, I mean, that's one of those things where it seems to be happening a lot at the Performance Center. And a lot of people are like, oh, what's the conspiracy there? Shit happens. I remember once upon a time, it felt like everybody was getting shoulder injuries. There was a time 20 years ago, it felt like everybody was getting neck injuries and neck fusions and stuff like that. It just seems to happen that way. Man, the stuff at the end of the show or near the end of the show with Wes Lee, that seems to be pretty indicative of a possible integration of the Rascals. So I had been told a little over a year ago that they had really softened their stance on the possibility of Zach Wentz coming back and doing something, anything. Dude's been on great behavior. He's not been trouble anywhere. He's done really great work elsewhere. And it's a question that naturally gets brought up with those guys all the time. And there's a real possibility that happens in the future. So that's something I would keep my eye on. I don't expect this partnership to end anytime soon. I know a lot of people are like, oh, WWE's buying TNA. And I just ask you, when was the last time WWE was in either tape library acquisition mode or company acquisition mode? Because they haven't been for years. They did that to make documentaries and increase their home video and to eventually launch the network. And now they don't have to do that. And further beyond that, Endeavor, who owns WWE, they've never been in that type of mode. They buy WWE and UFC. They're not usually in the business of buying like TNA or, what would be like an LFA in MMA or anything like that. But beforehand, you saw WWE buying a bunch of properties and companies and the like. And before UFC got bought out by Endeavor, you would see them buy Strikeforce, Pride, WFA, a lot of places like that to build up their library. So there's nothing that has indicated to me that like a sale is imminent or anything else, because if WWE really wanted to, they could just pick off every single one of those contracts one by one. And there's not many that would, they wouldn't be able to get. But there were people asking like, well, why doesn't TNA have shows announced past early August? They got some coming in late August. After that, I wouldn't be surprised to see them moving to a more stationary venue where they can run more often. So I don't know how that'll affect their live events business, because they did lay off 2 of their live events people, which I'm told they're replacing. But if you're going to go to a stationary venue, you don't need as many live events people. But I guess we'll see how all that works. Also, I can confirm, based on Jeremy Lambert's reporting, Sexy Red did pop ass at NXT Battleground.
She did that and not much more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's good at that at least.
That's her wheelhouse. I won't take that from her. That's her wheelhouse for sure.
Yeah. Also, because it also made got some attention. The former, I guess she's still Abby Arthur, the old cancer scammer, popped back up today. Did you see that, Alex?
I didn't, because blessedly I stayed away from that the first time, and then it just left my thing forever. So I'm
Abby
glad
Arthur, who scammed many wrestling fans into thinking she had cancer, and at one time stuck bubble gum in a wound to make it look like it was real. Did some jail time, some probation, reemerged, tried to do another scam, got caught, probably going back to jail. Go figure. So, guys, always check on stuff like that. Obviously, there's a lot of people that do need help out there, but we encourage our audience to always check on that type of stuff. But
yeah.
Kate,
Sean,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Who set you up the hotel accommodations?
XI Wrestling, baby. Let's go.
Well, I just want to say, take the router with you from there. Take the modem, take it all. It's a great connection.
The internet is better where you are now than it is at your house, is what he's saying.
It's being glitchy on mine, so
it is being glitchy. Yeah.
There we go. I'm back. I'm back for me, at least.
It's like having
Sean disrupts that all my.
It's like having an 0 for 5 game and striking out 5 times, and then going 1 for 5 with an infield hit the next day.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
6 1, half dozen the other.
For letting me swing by.
Bye.
Am I back to normal now? I swear to God, as soon as Sean leaves.
You're fine right now. I mean, you won't be for long, but
I'll do my best.
Ricardo says, "Hi, Alex. Hi, Kate. This was a 10-pound bag of ass." Well, like parts of it were. We'll talk more about the things that are.
I don't think we have to assign how many pounds Sexy Reds. Oh, you were talking about. Sorry, never mind.
I think you're drastically underselling how many pounds. But okay. So anyway, my thought was that if they were going to have a babyface win the ladder match, it was going to be Sol Ruca. And now with Kelani Jordynne winning it, I just hope they don't fall into the same pattern of not knowing exactly what to do with her as the champion. I expect her to be pinned in a tag match by Jaida Parker within the month. You know what I mean? They just don't, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to book a babyface champ well. So
probably in the parking lot, she'll get attacked somewhere.
So Ryan Lambert sends $2 for the Alex YY popping ass fun to Wheatley. I'll sing it, but I won't pop ass to it. Sorry.
That's disappointing.
I'm gonna leave that to the professionals. So,
that's fair. You could hurt yourself. We don't want that.
Yeah. Tony P says this PLE was mid, and I was excited and I had high hopes for it. The ladder match just ended, like nothing special ended. I get they are green for the match, but if so, pick a different match. And I feel like that is a sentiment that people are espousing.
I also feel as though like we had a combine and then qualifiers for this. Like,
yeah,
you could have thrown Legends of the Hidden Temple in the middle of this. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
sure.
it was a lot.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, not enough. Yeah, not enough. Yeah, yeah. So we got our NXT Tag Team Championship match. The Blurry Boys defeated the Good Brothers. And this was very good. If you told me this was your favorite match on the card, I wouldn't say anything about it. This was a very good tag match. The Good Brothers are now on SmackDown acting as AJ Styles' backup for his feud with Cody Rhodes. So now that they've lost this title match, I don't want to see them on NXT anymore. Like, they're involved in a very prominent main event level story on SmackDown. They shouldn't just be floating to NXT. This was a very good match. They did their job. They put over the kids. Bye-bye now. Like, I don't like NXT being this pit stop for people on the main roster where they're not actually doing anything but like taking a pity. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's weird. The match was excellent. Like, friggin' Luke Gallows put his working boots on for the first time since 2016. Like, this was good, great, even fantastic. Like, Carl Anderson's always excellent. And the Blurry Boys running back and forth at breakneck speeds, which is why they're blurry. This is wonderful. And now the Good Brothers can leave now. They could leave now. I'm sorry, they get to leave now.
Well, what's hard about that is on the SmackDown main roster too, like they split with AJ Styles and then are just back because AJ's mean. Mm-hmm. So that also makes no sense. Machine Gun looking pretty shredded, by the way. Gotta say.
Yeah.
Looked great. This match was awesome. This was a ton of fun. The styles meshed really, really, really well. It's still so weird to me that like it got real personal with the Wolf Dogs. Never did squat about it. So they were like, well, now instead we blame you. But I agree, like if they didn't win, they should just go back up to the main roster.
Yeah. I don't know why they did their job, man. They turned in a great match. One of the best they've had in a while. And you know, I up until they were like, now they're part of the AJ thing again. I thought they might win this match and then stick around in NXT. And now that they're like, I didn't want them wearing the NXT titles to the ring to stand around while AJ Styles fought Cody Rhodes in an I Quit match. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So I'm very happy that they lost, even though they turned in a great match tonight.
Agreed. Also, TMDK won their tag
Oh no. Oh no. Kate. Bye. Kate had to leave. That's too bad. That's really too bad. So I don't know if she'll come back. I hope she does. She's probably just restarting a little bit. It's fun. You know what? Here's what I like. Apparently the Blurry Boys, Nathan Frazer says, we'll face anyone from anywhere. And I'm like, TNA's got some good tag teams. I would not mind that at all if like some tag teams from TNA showed up for them to fight while they do the work to build up some people who are currently in NXT. I mean, we already saw an amazing match between the Blurry Boys and Malik Blade and Idris Enofe. Like, so you could build those guys up, but oh no, you can't because they're in some weird bad luck like storyline. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Is he coming back? She's coming back. She's coming back now. She'll be back. Oh, here. Oh, is she here? Hold on. Is she coming back? No? Yes? Oh, she's struggling. There she is. She's definitely robotic, but she's here. There we go. Now I can see you. Can you hear me? Oh no, she went away again. It's too bad. Yeah, no, Louise says ABC versus Blurry Boys is the move. I also agree. I think they should do that. I think they should do that for sure. Tim McFall also agrees. Blurry Boys versus ABC, please and thank you. Yes, for sure. Now, see, I really want Kate to be here so she can hear me rant about this. Kate, are you okay? Can you at least listen? I hope you can listen. Let's see here. Let's see. Now, hold on. Hey, can you hear me? Are you here? Can you hear me now?
I just wanted to talk about nice things. That's all I wanted to do was talk about nice things that happen
in the
world of tag wrestling.
Yeah. You're not allowed. No, but now you're back. So we were talking about how the Blurry Boys say that they're going. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you all choppy. Can you send the link to my phone? I'll just get on my phone.
I will send you the link to your phone.
So mad.
I don't know what's wrong. I can see you fine. I can actually see you clearer now than I've been able to see you all night. I don't know why I'm choppy. That's bad. Hold on.
I can do it as Dusty.
Apparently, you can do it as Dusty, or we could also change what.
Oh, it's me.
Hold on. No, I can't do that. Can I do this? Yeah. Nope. No, I can't do that. That's weird. I was gonna change the thing for you so you're not Dusty, but Dusty's Ghosty Rhodes.
Dusty.
You can only be Dusty. Apparently, you can't be anything else. So Dusty, I wanted to talk about this NXT Underground match. They just brought out a whole bunch of people clapping for no reason, wearing security uniforms, even though they weren't security guards, or were they? I'm not sure. They just stand. I know there has to be a lumberjack match, but they don't lumberjack. They don't jack lumber. They don't lumberjack. They don't do anything. Like, they're just standing there cheering and pounding on the mat, but they don't do anything. They're there to catch them if they fall, but they're not actually. They don't serve a purpose until HBK decides to book them as the finish of the match. Now, Shayna Baszler and Lola Vice are in here like she's gone. She's gone. I don't think she's gone entirely. She says, "I'm sending myself the link. I hate it here." That's fantastic. Oh, wow. Oh, boy. Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler and Lola Vice are putting on a very good little MMA match. They're both former MMA cage fighters. Of course they're good at this. So like this is all well and good. All of it is good. Like at one point they end up on the outside and Shayna Baszler, like Lola Vice is sitting with her back up against the front of the announce table. And Shayna Baszler takes a few steps and like tries to do a running knee to put the back of her head through the front of the announce table. But Lola moves and Shayna bangs her own knee. You know what I mean? And so then Shayna's knee hurts for the rest of the match, and Lola attacks it and works the knee and works the ankle, works the leg the whole time. Meanwhile, Shayna's just trying to get behind her to get the Kirifuda clutch in. The finish falls apart. The match falls apart entirely near the end when hold on, Jacob. I'm not splitting the middle because this is I hold on. I can't put a photo of Kate there. I wish I could, but I can't. She's not around. I don't know where she is. But I'll just go ahead and do one of these. There you go. How's that? Better or worse? Shayna Baszler gets hit by a back fist. Clocks are pretty good. She falls off the ring to the outside because, you know, there are no ropes for these things. And she falls and lands on some big guys on the outside. And they break her fall and she falls onto them. Kate's here on her phone. There we go.
Sometimes the best internet is no internet at all, Alex.
Wonderful. Okay, so
all I wanted to do was talk about the nice things in my life, and everything was fine. And then Sean showed up, and then when Sean showed up, everything went haywire, and I never recovered. Just like is my whole life.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. Okay. I was about to talk about the finish of this Shayna Baszler and Lola Vice match.
It made me so mad. This match made me so mad for so many reasons, and I wasn't even here to be sour about it in real time with you, which makes me more sour now.
Yeah. Shayna Baszler takes a back fist and falls off the ring onto some people. Then Lola Vice Lola Vice is like, "Hey, count her out!" Like she's off, she's knocked out. She's knocked out, but it has to finish in the ring. I get it. I didn't realize that about NXT Underground matches, but the finish has to happen in the ring. She could be knocked out on the outside. She could be in a coma, and the match has to continue. So, the Lola goes out, and Shayna eventually wakes up and gets the better of her, kicks her in the ribs, and then Shayna inexplicably, incomprehensibly starts punching all the dudes standing at ringside, not jacking lumber. They're not doing anything. They don't serve a purpose whatsoever. Shayna Baszler loses her damn mind for no reason. It wasn't like they were getting in her way. It wasn't like they were like big fans of Lola Vice. She just starts punching them. And she does like a gut wrench little slam to one of the ladies. for no reason. And then Lola Vice kicks her, right? And then they're fighting more. And then she's about to look like she was going to run and throw Lola Vice into the steps. But she tripped over one of the giant dudes that she punched once, who is still writhing around on the floor in agony 2 minutes after he was punched. She trips over that guy. The only reason he's still there, the other guys who got punched, they all got up and moved. The lady who took a gut wrench slam, she's moved, but that one dude took a punch to the noggin. He's out cold, writhing around, and she trips over him and bashes her own head into the Sting real steps. Sting real steps, not real Sting steps. Whatever they are. Steel ring steps. And then Lola rolls her into the ring and backfists her and wins. She lost via tripping over a man that she had knocked out for no reason 2 minutes prior. This is the most nutty booking to a finish I have ever seen. Like this, like people frothing at the mouth. You would have to be literally doing this to be crazy enough to book a finish like this. What are we doing?
We'll call HBK the Nutty Professor then. Scott
He's not a professor of anything. That damn did not attain his doctorate at any school. Not even Chase U would give that man a doctorate.
Chase U,
not even Chase U would grant that man a doctorate.
Not even a nominal diploma.
Unless he studied terrible booking, in which case he is the greatest scholar of our times.
A doctorate. It is weird that the underground matches on NXT, the show, worked better than this. I have a couple of issues off the bat with this. So the first is, if you go into a venue and you take out an octagon to put up a ring,
I know,
and weird, no ropes, it doesn't make it feel like more of a fight.
Yeah,
because I don't know if you know, Alex, they mentioned it about 900 million times that this was at the UFC Apex.
Yep, they sure did.
So it made it not cool. They also changed the lighting for this, and I'm not normally on the Sean train of like, it needs to be well lit and we should see everybody's knees. Like, I'm not as extreme with Sean on that.
It's an NXT Underground match, so they actually lit it like it was in like a root cellar somewhere.
That was the thing. It was like, this just looks like it's on the black carpet. This does not look good. It just looks like, and it also made it look really big because you couldn't really fully tell where it started and ended. So it just looked like they were, like, I expected the Fresh Prince meme where he's just looking around and there's nothing there. It looked so empty and weird. Yeah. Also, we flew too close to the control your narrative, son, because when EC the Third was doing his control your narrative thing early in the cinematic days, they had guys like in their control your narrative shirts come and do this on the side of the ring. It was a very, very similar thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why are there lumberjacks that aren't lumberjacks? This makes no sense to me whatsoever. This is so
not weird. A single piece of lumber was jacked once.
And none of them were in flannel. They all were dressed the same way, which is so weird. Mm-mm. It totally took me out of it. And then when it's such a bummer because these women were kicking each other's asses.
They were doing such a great job too. They really were.
Such good stuff, except for when they did stuff like leave the ring to go punch each other standing on an announce table. Like, that shit makes no sense.
If indeed the finish of the match must happen in the ring, on the mat, the raised platform, whatever they call it,
the black carpet.
Yeah. If indeed that must happen, then no one should ever go outside.
No one should leave the ring.
Also, like, not all these fools out there not jacking lumber. Jack some friggin' lumber. Put them back in the ring if it's got to end in the ring.
Alex, I've no longer signed into the desktop version, so you're gonna have to be my right-hand man, and you know where this is going because we've been talking about deck and lumber.
I know. I've been queuing you up now
I
don't know how long.
Look, I mean, we're talking about wood here, all right? And if you need to jack your wood up,
yeah,
there's only one way to do it.
Yeah,
and that's with BlueChew.com code Fightful.
Hello. Do you have a limp penis? A difficulty getting it erect? Boy, do I have a product for you. BlueChew.com and the code Fightful will help fix that. Blue Chew has the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work. But they work a lot faster because it's a chewable. It's also much more affordable. Use that promo code Fightful. Get your first shipment free. Just pay $5 shipping. One of the best parts, it's discreet. No awkward in-person doctor's visits. You don't have to go to the pharmacy. It's shipped straight to your door when approved by an online physician. You want to check this out. It will help you. It is a good product. It will make your sex life better. BlueChew.com and the code Fightful.
So I decided it was my middle of the year resolution to just start asking people if things were about me more. like when Sean's like, coming next to FightfulSelect.com, to just be like, is this about me? And that Blue Chew ad is, he stares into your soul, and I'm like, is this about me?
He
I
does.
Blue
My
Chews?
favorite.
I don't think I have the parts.
My favorite part of that particular ad read is the hard eye contact the entire time until it's time for him to stop recording, and he does one of these.
there is a
yeah, that's good.
Rules.
Yeah, it's good. Anyway, speaking of things that are not good, the end of this match. Like, I understand you wanted to protect Shayna Baszler, I guess, because she's 1/6 of a three-way tag team match for the championship in Scotland at the end of the week. So, but this does not. She went friggin' Tasmanian Devil for like no reason whatsoever. I don't understand why she did. It wasn't like she wanted to get to Lola Vice, and there were some guys checking on Lola Vice. You know what I mean?
That's
and
what
it was
was
like, get
so
the hell out of my way.
They weren't in the way. Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah.
All the sounds that Tama Tonga makes when he's grunting on the main roster are the sounds she should have been. Emily stole my gimmick.
She stole your gimmick.
Did it better.
She did it better than you. I'm sorry.
Better than me. God damn it.
Yeah. Anyway, Lola Vice wins, which I figured she would, but not via this. You know what I mean? Not like this.
No, and Alex, they get real picky choosy about what matters on the main roster, what doesn't at NXT.
That's true. Luis asks, correct me if I'm wrong, and I can't because I don't know if you're wrong, but didn't the finish of the match between Eddie Thorpe and Dijak happen on the outside of the Underground match? Like, I don't remember. I don't know.
I remember really liking that match, and I feel like if it had a shitty finish, we would have. But I mean,
but not necessarily. Like, if I like the match too, but just because the finish happens on the outside doesn't mean it's a shitty finish. So I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. Anyway, like Lola Vice, maybe Lola Vice. This is what I'm thinking here. Like, Lola Vice is done with Natty. She's done with Shayna. She's hopefully done with Carmen Petrovich.
She's coming for Kelani.
She's coming for Kelani. Like, that feels like a thing that, like, she wasn't in this ladder match for some reason. I guess she wasn't in the Combine, but I don't know why. So maybe
because Ivy Nile had to be.
Because Ivy Nile was. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway. Oh, listen, Lola, you could interest me in a Lola Vice versus Kelani thing where Lola Vice gets the title from her. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the thing. I want Lola Vice to win it. Is the issue?
Well, that's here's I look at how they did the inaugural UK championship tournament. They had Tyler Bate win it, and then he held it for a little while, not super short, but he lost it to Pete Dunne, who held it for 700 days. Yeah. And then he lost, and then he lost it to Gunther, who held it for 900 days. You know what I mean? So like Tyler Bate was your inaugural championship. Yay! We love inaugural champions. We want to root for the person who won it. Babyface, babyface, babyface. But they had full plans of putting it on Pete Dunne at their earliest convenience. They just didn't want him in the tournament. You know what I mean?
We used to be a proper promotion.
I mean, listen, you're right. I just wonder if maybe they're doing it. They don't have to do it. Honestly, though, the other thing I was thinking about is that ladder match with like a person who won it that we were like, I mean, good for her. I like her, but I don't see her like I don't know why we chose her to win. Feels exactly like our reaction to Indy Hartwell winning that ladder match 2 years ago, whenever it was.
I actually said that, and I don't understand why you didn't hear me perfectly when my internet was so wonderful and clear.
No, I'm sorry. I do apologize for not being able to hear you through your weird only speech.
I'm like Indy Hartwell. Yeah.
So look, Louise saying I did not remember incorrectly. It did end on the outside, so none of this makes any sense. Even less of it makes no sense.
Even less of it makes no sense. That's some Steiner math, but somehow made more sense than the ending of this match.
Okay. It ended with a DDT through the broadcast table.
Oh, I remember that now.
And that knocked out Dijak.
Well, thank God, because he's gone on to the main roster to do.
Yeah, it's true. So we got our North American Championship match. The triple threat. Which is great because Femi is in it, and he is the greatest wrestler alive.
To me, he's perfect. Alex, I love him so much.
He completes me.
Yeah. I've been looking for him my whole life.
Listen, okay, so they're doing this thing now, and I don't know how much longer they can do it, honestly. Without like making it a thing where like Oba requests to defend his title in only triple threat matches because that makes it fair. Otherwise, it wouldn't be sporting. But like this is the second time in a row that you've decided he has to do this versus two other guys. I don't know if they think that it wouldn't be believable if he has to face a super heavyweight like Ivar, or he has to face two guys. Otherwise, honestly, we have no idea how to lay out this match without him just squashing a dude. You know what I mean? And that's a weird thing. Maybe they're saving that one-on-one match where he almost loses, because he will never lose a match. He will he will relinquish this in favor of the NXT title, which he will relinquish in favor of a main roster mid-card title, which he will relinquish in favor of the top title, which he will never lose until he retires. So anyway, he'll almost lose to Wesley, who's a little guy who's not like, maybe that's what they're waiting for. But anyway, Joe Coffey did a lot of fun stuff. He was like the middle dude in this match, where like he's so used to wrestling as the big guy against the UK kids, you know what I mean? Who are all smaller than him. And he did like a tornado DDT followed by like a gorilla press slam or something. Like he just did like a luchador move followed by a power move to Wesley, which is a lot of fun. Obafemi just kept getting double teamed until he was like effectively quadruple teamed. When finally Wolfgang and Mark Coffey came out to attack him on the outside. But like he would whenever he got into the ring, He would just do something that I like, okay, fine. I'm going to pick up one guy and do a vertical suplex. No, I'm going to pick you up too. He picked up two men and did full vertical suplexes to them at the same time. And picking up Joe Coffey effectively with one arm, and doing a full vertical suplex to Joe Coffey, who's not a small guy. That's crazy. While doing it to another full-grown man is insane. Then was that time where he did a full vertical suplex, a stalling one to Wesley, while Joe Coffey was just working the button like George Foreman. That was crazy.
I loved that. Might have been my favorite spot in the match because Femi was completely unaffected and Joe Coffey was laying in shots. It was so good.
Yeah.
The Meteora spot into the power bomb was insane.
The finish of the match defies all reason. The other thing that happened before the finish was the one where Wesley's on the top rope and he literally shot put him up, just straight up frame. He was he scraped the ceiling of the Apex Center. Wesley
UFC Apex has never been graced by the hands of Wesley, but it has now because
Wesley flew. He flew like a bird.
He did. It was beautiful.
It was amazing. He also caught him on a tope Conero. That's what it is. Yeah, whatever. The one where he flips over the top rope. He caught Wesley into another power bomb and power bombed him onto Joe Coffey on the outside.
Is there a name for that?
It's the tope
thing over the top rope.
And then tope con hilo or hero. I don't know what it is. I'm not really sure. But not the tope suicida. That's through the ropes. The one that's over the ropes. Whatever. So, the thing at the end. I've never seen a man get caught while doing a Meteora, even somebody as small as Wesley doing it to a man the size of Femi. I've seen people get caught when they're trying to do something where their legs land over the shoulders of the guy. I've seen people get caught when they're doing crossbodies. Everybody does that. I've never seen a man be caught mid Meteora, and certainly not just immediately from Meteora, one half rock step back power bomb. I've never seen a man power bombed with that kind of force at all, ever. And certainly not immediately after doing a Meteor to a man who then power bombs you. And then the pop-up power bomb to Joe Coffey. And this thing I love about this, the little detail here, is that he did that Meteora counter into a power bomb to Wesley. And normally, to make the finish of the match I don't know, feel like there's no loopholes there. The guy who gets power bombed who doesn't take the pinfall in that first power bomb will roll to the outside. Wesley was just there. He had no wind. He did not know if his spine had been shattered. And he was just writhing. And he could not move 6 inches to break up the pinfall on Joe Coffey. That was a detail. I powerbombed that dude so hard. There's no way I'm in danger of him breaking up this pinfall.
Good.
It was Obafemi's amazing. Already he's amazing. He's going to get better and better and better. If this dude is not a 500-day champion at some point on the main roster, it's crazy. A multi-time WrestleMania main eventer, Obafemi. I do not think it's at all hyperbole to say that at this stage of his development, which is crazy, without the context of having watched him do matches. I don't think it's at all crazy to say he will main event multiple WrestleManias in his life. He's so good, man.
We've talked about this before, but it reiterates today that he should be on the Gunther track of extremely protected, extremely dominant, extreme fighting champion, as far as defenses goes, will fight anybody kind of thing. With his own unique footprint, of course. But that same type of dominance and energy that Gunther has had should be maintained here.
Yeah.
And also, I'm going to say something controversial. Not to us, but to the world. I think after what Femi did to Wesley, Jey Uso has to retire the word yeet. That he yeeted him. He yeeted him out of the frame of the replay.
He did. Yeah, he did. He did do that.
I think Jey Uso has to. I'm sorry. I know they're all hyped on the entrance and whatever. He owns yeet now.
It's true. He does. You should copyright it.
Yeah, he should.
Tony P says, three-way showcased Oba again. I will come back to that one. Don't delete that. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Tim McFall says, Oba Femi committed attempted murder multiple times. Also, he needs to go to the main roster and win a title on his first night. Book it, you cowards. He's the type of guy who should just show up and like shock win a title. Like, I mean, there are some really fun shock title losses that WWE has done. And I say fun, unexpected because they're shocking, but you get what I'm saying. But oftentimes they use the wrong person. Like I will never forget John Cena's you want some, come get some US Open challenge
thing of his career.
The first thing was his career. It's the best. Like the matches he had with so many people, like brought Sami Zayn from NXT to have a match. Unfortunately, he got injured in it, so he couldn't like capitalize on it. But like he had some amazing friggin' matches with that. And they ended it by having Alberto Del Rio come back and beat him. And like,
why?
Like, there was certainly shocking, but like one of those where a guy has an awesome mid-card title reign and is like, I've beaten everybody. There's nobody else who could beat. And Oba Femi shows up and beats that dude down. I mean, I don't know. There's a guy who's had a way too long U.S. title reign right now. I don't know if you have any plan. If you're not going to put the title on LA Knight.
Yeah.
Oba Femi just murdering Logan Paul would not be only fun for me, but fun for everybody watching.
Alex, it would be fun for families everywhere, kids and grown-ups alike.
Yeah. Tom the Valley says that the past tense of yeet is not yeeted, it is yote. And then says, please tell Kate. And I did that just now.
I believe you. I don't know my yeet.
Luis also says that it's actually tope con hero, because hero, Giro, is spin in Spanish. So it's like tope with a spin.
Oh, okay.
Though a lot of people say tope con hilo, which makes no fucking sense because that translates as dive with rope for a move where you leap over the rope rather than leaping from the rope. So see, Luis is there to tell me.
He's the best.
Yeah.
He got to see his guys in tag action, and I was gonna say I got to see my guys win tag team gold, and then the internet hates TMGK and booted me. Right, there you go. Tony P says three-way showcased Oba again. Underground and Grace Perez were great until the endings. I didn't like how Shayna lost, and having Jordynne lose clean after the interference was weird as hell to me. Just don't do the interference spot. I was through by the main. Okay, so we're going to talk about this too. Tim McFall says, great effort by the talent, but horrible booking. I didn't like the weird stuff in the Grace Perez match, but at least it didn't impact the finish. Production was bad, and Booker was worse. Booker T is actively awful. The pits. So, Jordynne Grace and Roxanne Perez were wrestling the kind of match where I was transfixed and like thinking of all the ways to like analyze the ring psychology of the match was one of those. There are many times where I'll just speed through it because I'm like, this is good. The match here were some good spots or whatever. But like sometimes I will like get the urge to be like, so this person coming into the match has obviously scouted this, and then that's taken away from them, blah, blah, blah. And then you talk about it. Like, for example, like Roxanne, because she is cocky and delusional,
has decided I'm going to try and outpower Jordynne Grace and quickly realizes that ain't going to work.
Well, no.
So the first real big offense she gets in is trying to dig out one of her eyes with her thumbnail. That's the first major offense she gets in the whole match, and spends the rest of the match trying to injure joints and like everything she can to like make sure this woman, who is faster than I thought she'd be and way stronger than I am. So what do I have in my arsenal that can possibly give me a victory over this woman? I'm gonna have to cheat. Like, I'm gonna have to like use every cheesy move in the book to try and figure out a way to like hurt her tendons. Like, if I take away the use of one of her arms, can she still scoop slam me? Turns out she can. And like at that point, when that actually hasn't done enough to put her out of it, you could tell Roxanne was kind of panicking because she wasn't able to get in her big Pop Rocks move. It was amazingly countered into a gory bomb.
Oh, so
like
cool.
Such amazing stuff. Jordynne Grace is excellent. Jordynne Grace is, if you're unfamiliar with her work, she's a top 10 women's wrestler on the planet for sure. Maybe top 5. If you told me that, I wouldn't disagree with you. She's amazing. Sure. So she knows everything she's doing. She's got a long career behind her, a long career ahead of her. Great stuff. Roxanne, like, they present her as though she's a cherub turned bad, but like she's got a lot of experience as well. So like but the story is that like she maybe got a little out over her skis and doesn't know what she's in the ring with. And the whole match is her trying to figure out a way to take an advantage over her. And everything that I am doing, everything that I'm talking about, all the joy that I have in psychoanalyzing all of the tactics used by both wrestlers is gone by the end of this match. Because Tatum Paxley comes out and like ogles the NXT title, and then she steals the Impact Knockouts Championship from the Timekeeper, and he just looked like the nerdiest guy in the world. Like, you just pick a dude who got some grip at least, because that just I'm sorry, I'm gonna need that back. Like, it was just so sad to watch that guy. Anyway, she starts to leave with it, and who is there to stop her from walking up the ramp with the TNA Knockouts Championship? It's Ash by Elegance. If you don't know, Dana Brooke, after she left, was released by WWE NXT. She went to TNA and she started calling herself Ash by Elegance, which is not a wrestler's name. It's the name of a fragrance. Like, if you go to the perfume counter, you could pick up a bottle of Ash by Elegance on the cheap.
Yeah.
Like
at a Marshall's or like a TJ Maxx, just like sitting on the discount shelf.
It is so funny that they picked her because of the weird thing, like, this was obviously, like, this isn't like Vic Joseph, like, oh, I don't know how to, what should I call her? They knew this was going to happen. He was briefed by this. So he's like, this will be funny if we have him almost say Dana Brooke, but that's not her name anymore. You know what I mean? You could have, I don't know. I don't follow Impact well enough to like know, is she actively in a feud with Jordynne Grace right now? Because I don't understand why you pick her and not literally anybody else that is on the TNA roster for this spot. But
I believe she is. If Joel Pearl's in the chat, he can better advise. But I think
okay.
They're working toward that.
Then at least they're working toward that.
Yeah.
So she stops Tatum from leaving with it. Jordynne Grace gets out, clocks Tatum with the belt, and then clocks Dana Ash by Elegance with the belt. And then she gets back into the ring, and they have more of the match. Not a lot, but a good 25 seconds. It wasn't like she walked back into the ring and immediately lost. So she was protected by the weird interference distraction spot. Like, it just allowed her to lose.
Different?
Like there are degrees of protecting people. She was protected 5%. You know what I mean? Like 5%, like you know, like with sunscreen, there's like SPF 30, SPF 50. This was SPF 2.5. Like I don't know what we're doing, spraying that on our body. Like I'm putting on sunblock. No, you're really not. You're really not, though.
You just ran into the ocean
anything,
and it all got washed off. Also, commentary couldn't decide what this was because Vic Joseph made it sound like the distraction was what cost her. But what happened didn't seem that. I hated that. It undid all of the great work. I don't want to say it undid it, but it was just like we were on a really clear road to the destination and they were like, instead, let's take a hard left and go to the park. Like, I don't know. I'm assuming it's to amplify the crossover for the Impact title. Like that it's come into play. I don't know if our dear Tatum is showing up on Impact TNA or what the deal is, but or TNA Impact, I think it is. But it really knocked the wind out of my sails, especially because there's so much other interference. Like before the show starts, we saw that Ethan Page got taken out by Ora Mensa at the airport.
Oh, and we're going to talk all about that in a second.
Like, it's just too much of not just allowing the matches to be the matches, which is always frustrating, but damn, what a match. What chemistry between the two of them. What pros. What a fun story that got laid out to this point. What a great job Roxanne has done in ring of adapting her skill set to be that of a heel. And to be an underdog heel is like a unique kind of thing because she's so much smaller.
Yeah.
But we're not supposed to root for her, so it's a difficult thing.
Right.
The way she went after her arm and wrist and like just really, really, really great stuff. Really, really great stuff from both of them. The muscle buster from Jordynne was insane. Like, I really liked it. And I'm also bummed because I really liked what we were getting from Tatum when we got that vignette. And now it just kind of feels like so hokey again. And I know it's kind of a hokey gimmick, but it's that thing of like unhinged people acknowledging that they're unhinged versus just acting unhinged.
Right. Yeah.
And that sucks. Like that's a bummer. So
yeah, she's obviously going to TNA for a while. I think that a lot of the stuff that she could they really let you lean into the characters there. That should be good.
Yes.
You know, so like her going there is a good thing for her. I think it'll be good for scapegoat Brooks Jensen. I think the Scape Beach will have a fantastic time. The Scape Beach will have a fantastic time over there where he can do all of his weird skate beaching. And he'll do well there as well. I think they're selecting good people to do for this little, you know, foreign exchange student program that they've got going on. But like, I didn't think you had
call it excursion, Alex. So just
sure,
like
whatever.
Educated.
So it is, you know, like it's I just didn't think that this match had to end this way. I think you could have easily done and again, I'm the guy who always asks for clean finishes. I know. But sometimes the matches that you book demand something else. Okay? This match was ripe for a non-finish. Like Roxanne can't put Jordynne Grace away. She hits the pop rocks, but Jordynne Grace gets her foot on the ropes. Like she is losing it. And finally, she takes herself. She does this. She takes the TNA title and clocks her with it in front of the ref, which just pisses off Jordynne. Like she's not knocked, she's disqualified, but she gets it, or she's going to go get it back where Roxanne dropped it after the match is over, right? But that's when Tatum has taken it. Tatum's got it. You know what I mean? I got it now. And then like let her run away. Don't bring in Ash by Elegate Danis, whatever. Danigans. Ash by Danigans.
Brooksigans.
Danigans. I'm going to Danigans. I'm saying Eledates. I'm not sure. Dana, I like Danigans. So just don't bring her in at all. Just let it be the Tatum Paxley thing, and let that be that, because this, like, I don't know, it just felt really weird. And also, this doesn't put a bow on this, because you get the sense that we're gonna get Roxanne versus Jordynne Grace again down the line at some point, maybe. I think Jordynne Grace is coming to WWE when her contract is up. Yeah, so, like, you're gonna get this again down the line. So, like, let it be that reason for the cliffhanger, as opposed to some weird, stupid stuff happened on the outside of the ring that I was powerless to stop myself from getting involved in. Oops, I lost a match. Like, make it be something.
That's also just not how titles work. Like, if someone runs away with it, that doesn't make them the champion. I always hate that. And AEW did that too with, like, Nyla and somebody, and Jade maybe. Where I'm like, just because you carry the title away doesn't mean, like, they're the champion now. Like, you shouldn't be so dumb as to fall for that.
I believe Tatum Paxley believes that possession is 10/10 of the law. You know what I mean? Like,
Tatum, yes, but Jordynne Grace shouldn't give a shit.
Yeah. I mean, apparently Jordynne Grace has an open challenge on PLE Friday. So, like, maybe that's... God.
They have a PLE every 10 minutes on that brand, I swear to God.
Please. Yeah.
Alex, here's the thing about finishes like that, is they think it makes things more exciting, but in fact, it kind of puts me to sleep.
Oh, really?
And I don't want to fall asleep in a weird position. It would be very uncomfortable. And I definitely don't want to fall asleep in a weird position on my crummy hotel mattress. If I was just snooze away, I know exactly what type of mattress I would want it to be on. And I think I've given you ample time to tee this up. So I'm hoping to pick it up when I'm down.
I'm just gonna let you keep on. Just keep going. Don't stop now. You're doing great.
When I'm traveling, the thing I miss the most is my bed. That's because I've got a Helix Sleep mattress. I worked with Helix Sleep before it ever became helixsleep.com/Fightful. During the pandemic, I needed a new mattress. My back was hurting. I was sleeping on a slab of memory foam. It was not working for me, but I didn't want to go to a mattress store. I wouldn't have wanted to even if it was the pandemic at the time. But I looked up and found helixsleep.com/Fightful. And I found a ton of 5-star reviews. I found a ton of benefits. There are so many different options. There are options for people who sleep too warm, people that want their spine aligned, people who want just anything. And how do you find what you need from helixsleep.com/Fightful? You take an online questionnaire, and when you fill it out, they will find your preferences and match you up to the mattress that works for you. I got the Dusk Luxe model, and right now you can get 25% off any purchase for a limited time using the code FIGHTFUL, and you get 2 free dream pillows. I've had a lot of neck issues, and helixsleep.com/Fightful has really helped me out in this regard. It's been put over by Wired, GQ, Good Housekeeping, all kinds of people, most importantly, Fightful. But they have over 30,000 5-star reviews. They have great flexible financing plans, and it comes straight to your door. If you don't like it, after 100 nights, they'll just come get it for you. What do you have to lose? Invest in your sleep. helixsleep.com/Fightful.
I'll tell you what's not a snooze, Alex. FightfulSelect.com. All the latest and greatest in breaking news that you could possibly ever want for your entire heart that it could ever desire. Not only all the NXT scoops that Sean outlined, but Contract City over at FightfulSelect.com. Becky Lynch, Chad Gable, Ricochet. You wanted some clarity. You got Mike Johnson reporting one thing. You got Meltzer reporting another. Sean is here to clean it up. Set the tiebreaker about what the deal with Ricochet is. Shane Hayes, who I adore, his contract is up. Dijak, who Mansoor and Brendan are like, just leave already. There's so much happening over here on FightfulSelect.com. Best $5 in the biz. Plus, you got me and Alex a bunch. You got me and Alex a bunch over on FightfulSelect.com reviewing PLEs as an alternative to what's on the main channel. So if you like what you get from the Tuesday night crew. There's plenty more where that came from for other WWE events, other AEW events.
Mm-hmm.
So just subscribe already.
Yeah, you should do that.
That was a hard sales pitch.
It's good. It's a good sales pitch.
Thank you so much.
Lieutenant Colonel Photo says the Dana Ash by Elegance store was out of whistles.
Well, because they threw all the bells and whistles, they have to save them for Kelani's run.
Will Chisholm says, "Oh, hold on. Whether she knew it or not, Roxanne messed up Jordynne's ear and it was bleeding. Such a heel. Apparently, like Jordynne's earring got stuck in Roxanne's thigh." And then ripped out part of Jordynne's ear is in the process. So that's
unintentional Tysoning. That is rough.
Yeah. Luis explaining that they are not feuding yet, but Ash is being built up to a title match against Grace, possibly for Slammiversary. Basically, she is Daniel Garcia to the AEW International title.
That's kind of like momentum was what I had kind of last noticed.
Yeah, I guess. So I guess that's the second time Grace's earring got ripped out during a match. Happened against Marty Bell. So like this, maybe the earrings are a no-go.
Yeah, just like a cute, like little ones.
Yeah, or look, clip-ons, just in case they get caught on something. They'll just Hey, so Sexy Red didn't really host. She said 5 words, popped her ass in the ring, and then stayed backstage where she popped her ass with other people later. Kelani Jordynne, who was like doesn't feel like she's like the same.
It doesn't feel so much like an ass popper. Yeah,
not really. But we know Lola Vice is. So yes. Lola Vice walks up to Sexy Red, who's being interviewed by Sarah Schreiber and promoting her tour, her sex YY for president tour. By the way, please do not vote sex YY for president.
She could be a great president. I'm looking at the other options, and I don't know, man. It's rough out there.
I'm just saying. I feel like it's a little late in the game to get into the race, and perhaps that write-in vote might be a wasted vote. Again, pretty much she's no worse than the second best option for president right now.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I'm like kind of a toss-up with the first, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah, so there you go. Anyway, Lola Vice walks
working on stream.
Lola Vice walks up, and she's still wearing her mouthpiece from the Underground match. And I'm pretty sure this was taped right after the NXT Underground match, but it aired an hour after it. So I don't know why she's still walking around with her mouthpiece in.
In her defense, Shayna was pretty unhinged. She might have just been like, if I run into her, she's putting random people over out there.
Yeah.
Probably be on guard, if you will.
Yeah. But they twerk together, and then Sex YY forces Sarah Schreiber to do it too.
Yeah, that was weird.
You don't have to do that if you're somebody who doesn't like twerking or popping ass, as the kids say. You don't have to do that.
Do the kids say that, or does just Jeremy say that? I don't know.
I think the kids do say popping ass.
Okay, I wouldn't know. I'm not a kid.
Yeah.
But you know what they say? The couples that work together twerk together. They say that all the time.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, but you won't twerk, so I guess we're not friends, which makes sense because you hate friendship. So.
Okay. Wesley is walking backstage.
We're going to talk about the main event and be done.
Yeah, sure. I am. Gallus attacks Wesley backstage. I guess Joe Coffey is choosing to blame Wesley, and they attack him 3-on-1 because they're bullies. and bullies usually don't pick fights with guys bigger than them. So there's no reason for them to pick a fight to try and beat up Femi backstage. So they beat up the small guy. And again, Sean being like, I wonder who could come and help Wesley out. I mean, I guess that'd be kind of cool.
The thing with that Sean Ross app is sometimes I feel like he might know a little bit more than the average bear.
He might. Ethan Page has been def rebelled. It's a DEFCON 2. We're at DEFCON 2, Def Rebel Con 2. It is an emergency. I
love Ethan Page so much. Why did they give him a MIDI file as a theme? It sounded like it was from 1994 and I downloaded it. Like it's the background of a greeting card I would make for my dad. What was this theme? Is Def Rebel for
listen,
years the songs they produce? It's terrible. I'm sorry. I've tried to be so I don't want to call for anyone's jobs, but they need to adjust the process so that these themes get better. I can't do it anymore. I can't be cute about it. They're so bad. And they did this to one of my faves, and I love Ethan Page so much, and I just want him to get pushed appropriately and have good music, and I don't think that's a lot to ask.
I did like that they say ego a lot in the song so that you know that that's his nickname.
Get it? Because all ego Ethan Page.
He says ego, something like that.
They just, if you know even a little bit about music production, you know that the softwares have these stock sounds. And real engineers and musicians will at least tweak those.
Yeah.
So that they sound organic, or so that you can't recognize that it's a fucking stock sound.
I don't know.
And they never do. I can tell you, drum sample number 9 that gets called up in Pro Tools to create the Creed's theme. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad, and I just love Ethan Page so much. And this sounded like it was on the very first Angel Fire website. He deserves better. We deserve better. My fellow Americans deserve better. My international citizens of the world deserve better. This was why are they so bad?
I don't know. Anyway. This is Ethan Page was attacked at the end of Tuesday's show, not on camera.
Ears were attacked by
Oro Mensah. And then they did this whole thing where they showed us that Oro Mensah also came in and attacked him when he got to his hotel. And
welcome to NXT, Ethan.
And
you're
then
gonna get attacked in underhanded ways.
He was also attacked by Oro Mensah tonight, though not when he should have been. So Ethan Page is coming over from EEW and immediately made prior to tonight to feel like a big deal. Like you have you have him, get signed, make all these demands. And he takes out the champion. He makes all these demands. The demands are agreed to, including his first ever match is a match for the title at Battleground. And he's presented as a big deal that he has chosen to come here after, his career, quote unquote, elsewhere. And the match never felt like it was in third gear. Like it just didn't really go anywhere. Are you still there? Or
I am.
Okay.
Sorry.
Cool. Just wanted to make sure we didn't lose you again.
No, I put my battery on low battery thing.
Okay.
But I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
The match didn't feel. It felt like maybe they knew nobody would like the finish of the women's match that they had booked, so it couldn't go on last. But Jordynne Grace and Roxanne should have gone on last over this. Just considering the match quality of the way they put it together, I'm not surprised that Ethan Page and Trick Williams, having met each other for the first time like 10 days ago, like didn't like immediately throw together an all-timer, you know, in their first match together, because you know, chemistry is a thing, and like it was not like Trick Williams has been doing this for 10 years. You know, Ethan Page has a lot of experience, but like it just didn't feel like it really went anywhere, because I thought the reason they were doing that is because we're definitely getting a rematch of this at Heatwave. Because the finish is going to be some weird wonky finish that's going to allow for this chapter to not be closed, and obviously we will get the rematch. Whether or not that was Ethan Page obviously cheated to win, and Trick Williams is going to get a rematch, I thought maybe that was it. Or the obvious thing, because it's how WWE does business, well, the ref's back is turned, or after a ref bump, Oro Mensah is going to come in and attack Ethan Page again, costing him the match. What I did not see happening, and what they decided to do, was for Ethan Page to hit his finisher for the first time in WWE and for it to be kicked out of. And then him to be then after that punching Trick Williams so much that the referee had to get involved, which is always dumb. Don't ever do that. Like, ever do that. And then Trick Williams to then run out of the corner, hit him with a knee, and pin him 1, 2, 3 clean. Because the ref decided to like get in his face about punching Trick Williams too much. And I don't think this buries Ethan Page. He's too talented. He'll get out of it. But after everything went off the air, after Trick Williams celebrated with Sex YY, after the whole thing went off the air, then they had Oro Mensah come out and attack Ethan Page. Just have him come out and attack Ethan Page. And then Ethan Page can be like, once I deal with you and your little Scottish friend, then I'm coming back for you, Trick Williams. That's an easy thing to do here. But now I don't know where a good booker takes, not Booker T, but a good booker of wrestling takes Ethan Page immediately after losing clean, having his finisher kicked out of in his first match, which he expertly negotiated to get a title match in his first, and then came up. It's the guy who talks all the trash in the world and then doesn't back it up. Now that guy, like in real life, when you see a defensive back who says nobody can catch anything on me, and then gives up the winning touchdown, you're like, that guy, look at that. Everyone points and laughs at that guy. And Ethan Page talking all this stuff about himself, and then he loses clean while having his finisher kicked out of. You're gonna have to do a lot to rebuild him after that. And I might trust a good booker of wrestling to do this. But this is HBK we're talking about here. And I don't trust him at all.
Because of the everything. Doing this after the celebration with Sexy YY Red, or Sex YY Red, is foolish. Because this begs for a rematch anyway, I'm confused why this was the clean one. I'm confused. I'll say there were parts of this that when it got going, it really got going, and I kept waiting for it to sustain, and it didn't. Like it, God, and they're both really good, and I don't know if, like, was this initially supposed to be Noam Dar in a triple threat? Like, did the script switch a couple times, or it just didn't feel like. And there was a large part of me that thought maybe I was alone in that, because the viewing experience was so stilted. Of like, I'm sure I watched some NXT Takeover Brooklyn documentary aspect of right before this match, so like one of my favorites and such a great storyteller. And then when the match ending and a lot of the sequences in it don't line up with the story being told of Ethan Page coming in, that means he's telling a different story than is happening.
Yeah.
So it felt a little disconnected for me. But they're both great. So I hope that we do get a rematch, and I hope it does get on the same page. Maybe Ethan Page does a not going to be as easy as I thought kind of thing, and does have to get some wins to get back to that rematch at Heatwave. But as great as Ethan works heel, and as obnoxiously over the top and protective as this brand normally is, I'm surprised that this is what we got. And if you were gonna, like, Ethan Page didn't even go ballistic at the end for having lost or whatever. Like, it wasn't like Trick won and then got super cocky about it and Ethan Page came after him. Like, this just didn't it didn't fit my expectations of what I thought we were gonna get, because it feels like the obvious thing is for him to win the title and send Trick up after Heatwave.
I mean, here's the thing that I suggested is that, I mean, there's nothing for Trick to do on the main roster. They can't put Andrade in a match on television. Okay, Andrade, like, Trick is over, sure, but Andrade is this otherworldly talent, and they can't find a place for him on TV. There's nothing for Trick to do. He's just gonna be Carmelo is like doing a kind of a thing with LA Knight. It's not like they have like, oh, we got an opening for a guy like you right now. They don't. So my thing is, let's start a real rivalry between All Ego Ethan Page and Trick Williams, and make that the defining thing of a new era of NXT leading into the CW thing. Like, have Ethan, I would argue, win the title tonight. He'll do it, obviously cheating, and then have Trick chase him, because Trick's better chasing. Obviously, they have no idea what they're doing with booking him right now, with the Noam Dar stuff and all this stuff. So having him chase Ethan Page and then getting the title back at like Halloween Havoc or something, and then you could have that lead into the CW era, and you could have them trade the belt like a couple times, not over and over again, but like a maximum of 3 times. They haven't done a really good like back and forth. Like, we're obviously the top 2 guys here, and either one of us could beat the other guy in any given night. They haven't done that since like Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura. Like, that's been a long time. Make this rivalry a part of NXT that everyone tunes in because of these 2 guys. And at that point, then Trick Williams, maybe hopefully you're good at this, you've opened a hole for him to immediately slot into when he gets called up. And then it's now Ethan Page's NXT. Like, there's some really good stuff they could do, but I don't think they're going to do any of that.
I also feel like if you let Ethan Page be the guy, he can do some really, really productive work. Like, I know I'm an Ethan Page fan, but part of the reason I'm a fan is because he's really fucking good at this. And I just feel like if you belt him up, he's going to be able to give a lot of people their best matches, and it's probably a wise decision to do that. And I feel like you can book him. He's so versatile in a way that I don't know if Trick has that versatility yet. Of like, Ethan Page is like, need me to make anything make sense, I can do it. Like, he really, I saw him try and work Ring of Honor, man. He really does have that in him. Because that's the only product more lost than NXT tends to be. So I hope that they kind of course correct it, because it did feel like him kicking out of the ego's edge, and
I certainly wouldn't have done that. I mean, I don't. Maybe the story is he needs a new finisher in NXT, and the next time he comes up with one, it'll be better. But like, I don't know. The ego's edge is great. Like, it's a razor's edge, but he literally throws them across the ring. It's a really cool finisher, and it looks great tonight.
If you heard his theme, but like, ego, you know what I mean?
Yeah, ego. It's true. So, yeah. So yeah, I don't know why if you're going to have Oro Mensah attack him off camera, just do that. I mean, I feel like that's what we're going to keep Ethan Page busy with is the metaphor for a while Trick Williams faces, I don't know, because Heatwave is in less than a month.
Oh my God, it is, isn't it?
It's like it's 4 weekends from now, but it's the 8th of July. So like we are coming up really quick on Heatwave. So if they're gonna, unless they're gonna do a triple threat, but like Oro Mensah's not in the triple threat. He's just not. Like they haven't done that with him yet. So it'd be Noam Dar, but we haven't seen him. We haven't seen hide nor hair of that guy. I don't know if he's hurt or what, but we have not been around at all. I thought Noam Dar and Oro Mensah were going to come in and attack Ethan Page as like a big, like, this is your comeuppance for attacking us, you know, like, but no, I don't think, you know, but.
Alex, do you think for Heatwave, there'll also be a Sex YY white and a Sex YY blue?
Because it's 4th of July weekend? Perhaps.
What a no-sell of my hilarious joke.
I mean, but because I had to do the math. I thought you were like, if it was the Great American Bash, I'd be like right there with you. But I had to figure out why would there be patriotic stuff at Heatwave? Oh, because of the date of Heatwave, and that's why I.
They did day one on like March 3rd. You should be very.
No, they did. They did New Year's Evil on January 10th. They did New Year's Evil on January 10th. So yes.
Halloween Havoc on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's another thing we got. Apparently, there's a digital clip with CM Punk and Roxanne. CM Punk was in attendance but didn't make his presence known. CM Punk met with Roxanne in a digital interview, telling her she was head and shoulders above the NXT women and the TNA knockouts. But she got lucky tonight, and he told her to focus on her title and be the prodigy because she did not need anything else. Then Rox responded by saying this: "Thanks for the advice. What a hypocrite, huh?" So I guess that's a thing now.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't think Punk is working NXT anytime soon.
No, I don't think so either. So, Will Chisholm says of my pitched idea for Oba Femi, seeing Oba beat up Logan Paul will make Alex's heart grow 3 sizes that day.
Guess it will.
10 sizes.
A million.
Like here's the thing: I will die of an enlarged heart.
I know it's going to be.
It won't be a heart attack because I'm be angry. It'll be because my heart has grown so big. We got some puns.
Let's go.
Wild West puns. JW Pringle says Willie Half Nelson. Apparently, Luis has said this is the winner. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Chris Pereira says Dude Love Ranch. Robert Lyle says Bray Wyatt Earp.
I don't get my dumb.
Bray Wyatt Earp? Wyatt Earp? Do you know who Wyatt Earp is? He's the most famous lawman of the Old West.
I know nothing.
You don't know Wyatt Earp?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, he's Kurt Russell in Tombstone. You ever see his Tombstone? Did you ever see Wyatt Earp starring Kevin Costner as Wyatt Earp? It's Wyatt Earp. Yeah. Okay. Louisville says, "What in tarnation of domination?" Chris Pereira says Billy the Kidman and the Sundance 1-2-3 Kid. Cia Delgado says Cody Dirt Rhodes.
Very nice.
And the inaugural AEW Women's Champion, Reno. DNC Digital says, "Here's my pun."
Now visualize Riho and like the Wild West.
Yeah. DNC Digital says, "Here's my pun." Tombstone. Well, that was easy.
You don't need to brag, but very good.
Chris Pereira says Davy Crockett Promotions. Chris Perez says freshly squeezed orange Butch Cassidy. Robert Lyle says 6 shooter, but he spells it SYXX.
Very nice. Very well done.
Ricardo says Billy the Kidman. Robert Lyle says West World Order. Josh Toolman says Buffalo Billy Kidman. Jesse Ozog says Wagon Wheeler Yuta. Chris Pereira says lickety split legged moonsault. Lickety. We don't say things are lickety split enough anymore.
We don't. We used to be a proper country.
We used to say things were lickety split. Now they're not like that guy jacked all that lumber lickety split. Chris Pereira says that dog won't Hunter Hearst Helmsley. DNC Digital says from dusk till dawn Marie.
Oh, very nice.
Chris Pereira says 310 to Yuta. Chris Pereira says hell or high Walter. That's my favorite. That's
my leader in the clubhouse too.
Chris Pereira says free state of Yambag Jones. This is your favorite. ENR says Tumbleweed Team 2000. Chris Pereira says
we're really in the tag division just for Tumbleweed. Yeah.
This is my favorite. Chris Pereira says Legend of the Falls count anywhere.
That's excellent.
ENR says Zach Stable Jr.
Leader of a state.
Oh my god, I lost my you can am I back now? Okay, cool. I lost my monitor because I pounded the table too hard in laughter. Now it's back. This is my favorite now. ENR says Bam Bam Big Lone Ranger.
You love Bam Bam Bigelow puns.
I do. Chris Pereira says Killers of the Flower Moonsault. NMBH says Buckshot Lariat and the Preacher. Lariat and the Preacher. I don't know what that is. Lariat and the Preacher? I'm not sure about that one. ENR says Lasoba Femi. Lasoba Femi.
Lasoba Femi.
Lasoba Femi. Tom LaValle says Orange Cassidy and the 1-2-3 Kid.
Very nice.
NDH says the Magnificent Trent 7. Robert Lyle says Alundra Blazing Saddles.
That's really good.
ENR says it's Canteen.
A little bit of a stretch, but we'll take that.
DNC Digital says Wild Wild Wesley.
Very nice.
Robert Lyle says Dances with Wolfpack. And insert clever Tegan Knox pun says Unfor Tegan Knox. That's it. That's all of them.
That was really good. I love the commitment to that bit so much.
So today went to the Pride Parade to support, because obviously. And Ricky Rainbow made an appearance, wore the wig, got a lot of comments. Ricky was very happy about it. I realized too late that I should have responded to every "I love the hair" comment with "thank you," but I didn't want to confuse people.
World no.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah. So, listen. If I can figure out a way to upload it, Allie, I will put the photo on Tuesday. So
that'll be a Tuesday thing.
Mm-hmm. There you go. That's it.
That's it.
Cool.
We did it. We made it.
We made it through Battleground.
We did. We battled the ground.
Yeah. We battled all the way to the ground.
Underground in some cases.
Yeah, we did. We did all the way underground too. And now we will battle all the way till Tuesday when we figure out what they're going to do with all this stuff now.
Let's hope that they know what to do with this stuff.
What you're going to do with all that junk inside that trunk.
I know if you're sex YY red.
Yep, I know. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. That's it.
We'll see you
Smart.
on Tuesday.
Yeah, and on Five Select, come watch us be mad about Raw, whatever's happening on Raw. I'm sure we'll be mad about it. Yeah, Mia is versus Jaida on Tuesday. They're doing that, so that'll be fun.
Nice.
Oh yeah, and Dragon Chew. We got to talk about you. You saw the Dragon Chew thing. You weren't here on Tuesday when they first showed it. What was your reaction? We won and you lost.
My reaction was Alex and the SGS won, and I lost because I just want Karen Q to be a normal person and regular like a human and wrestle like a regular human, or to be Wendy Chu if she must. But Dragon Chew was something you thought of like 2 years ago at this point. Fun.
HBK finally got around to listening to the episodes from 2022, and he was like, you know what? I think this might work.
They get Oba Femi and they get Dragon Chew. That's what they get.
Yeah, that's good. Well, she did put on eye makeup, black eye makeup, so you know she's turning heel.
She's gonna be a heel. She's gonna find the darkness within. There you go.
There you go. Cool. All right. So that's it. Now that's it. Okay, cool. Keep cool, Gabagools.
Toodles.